Welcome to the Local Vibe podcast, unscripted, it's uncensored, the real deal straight up music talk. Please like and subscribe on YouTube and Facebook.
This is dedicated to the local musicians of Denver, Colorado. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the show.
All right. That's one of my favorite buttons there, Chris. You'll get to know that throughout the day here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, good afternoon. It is a beautiful, beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Denver, Colorado. And my gosh, I don't know. I think we're going to be like 65 degrees today or something like that, something crazy weather. So, yeah, you just never know. Sometimes in February or, late January, we'll get these really nice days, But yeah, welcome back, everybody. Again, I appreciate everybody liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel and supporting this project. Again, I've said this many times before. I'm bringing in people, local artists from up and down the Front Range into the studio, spending some time with them, talking about their backgrounds and also playing music, playing some live music since this is a music podcast. So we definitely want to do that. So again, thank you very much for everybody for watching out there and liking and subscribing and supporting local music and the Local Vibe podcast. All right. Well, I'd like to introduce my guest over here to my left-hand side. And what we're going to do today here with the podcast is start with some music. Chris is going to play some music for us. But before we do that, I'd like Chris to kind of introduce himself a little bit. Chris, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Christopher Charles Romero. Most people in the music scene know me as Romero. I'm a singer, songwriter, actor, writer, director, producer. I wear a lot of hats. Quite busy. I'm a teacher, father, husband, grandfather, and a friend to many. And I'm grateful to be here today. And you're right, the weather is incredible. It feels like a spring day here. And I'm sitting in this amazing studio here with Fast Eddie, and it is gorgeous.
Thank you.
I thought I walked into the basement of a Guitar Center and then some. It's like a recording studio plus Guitar Center. This guy's got a ton of gear. Beautiful, beautiful place. But anyway, thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Chris.
Grateful to be in a place where they, to showcase original artists and original music. So this is going to be really cool.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah. And that's the thing is, bringing in solo artists and, musicians that are write music, playing music out there, showing their passion, right? That's what we do with our music as being a musician as well. We show our passion in our music. So anyways, we'll get up with the music here. And Chris, if you want to play a few songs, man, it's I love that acoustic you got there. And
absolutely.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. So this first song I'm going to do here is my latest single. I actually put this out last year around this time for National Record Store Day. I ended up putting out just a single. Obviously, we'll dive into the records later, but this is the latest song here, Whiskey Day, and it's obviously a stripped down version, but it goes like this. The lines on your face tell me you've been hurting for a while. The pain that's in your eyes says you are lonely, my old. As you drift from town to town, you never settle down, seeking some forgiveness, just a hint of grace. Neon lights from a motel sign to keep you up at night. You're reckless and you're broken. Words are left unspoken. So I drank the pain away. Just another whiskey day. Fall into the darkness, never see the light. Looking for the reasons you and I still fight. Neon lights from a motel sign keep us all night. Reckless and we're broken. Words are left unspoken. So we drink the pain away. Just another whiskey day. Mm-mm. Reckless and we're broken. Words are left unspoken. So we'll drink the pain away. Yeah, we drink the pain away. Just another whiskey day.
Wow, amazing, man. Wow, that sounds awesome, brother. So,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, what was that? What was the name of that song again?
Whiskey Day.
Whiskey Day. Wow. What? Tell us a little bit about some of the inspiration behind that one.
I mean, I think a lot of the songs tell a truth, at least from my perspective. I've been sober for 11 and a half years.
Awesome,
And
man.
it's a big part of my journey, a part of my story. And it's not to preach, because to each their own. You know, I was just somebody that it didn't work for me anymore. So sobriety and that can sneak into the songs, you know, lyrically, consciously or subconsciously. And it just tells that story where some people, they don't get a chance to get sober, and it's kind of that thing where you just feel completely lost and hopeless, and it's tells a story of someone that's just, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to pick themselves up, and that's just it, man. You'll fall down, but you got to get back up, you got to
Yeah.
keep fighting. So a lot of that was in that particular track.
Very nice. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
And Chris, if people wanted to find this song, can they get this on like Spotify or Apple Music?
Yeah, all of them. Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, iTunes, and everything else. It's out there. Any streaming service for that particular track. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'll put some descriptions, some links to descriptions there to this music, so people can go and find it, download it, listen to it. Definitely some great music.
Right.
All right, Chris, let's pay a few more, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me give you a little backstory. So I've got 5 solo records and then a handful of singles. And with the 5 solo records, you can get, they're obviously streaming, but you can get a couple of the titles are on vinyl. I've even got cassettes, and of course everything on CD. My last record that came out in 2024 was a record called Cinco de la Rock and Rolla. This being my 5th record, and this was the first single from that, and it's a song called Let It Go. Running from the nightmare you've been sleeping through. Can't seem to shake it. Know you think it's true. I'm telling you to forget this. Find another way. Harbor all the sorrow. Spray it fades away. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. gotta let it go. You're seeking some forgiveness for sins you don't recall. The guilt that you've been feeling, putting up a wall. Pretend like you don't feel it. Smile right through the tears. Take your way through moments you've always lived in fear. Gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. Swore you'd break the cycle, never repeat your past. Despite your best intentions, you knew that this could never last. So you numb yourself to hide it, so you can't feel a thing. The pain is like forever, the way it's always been. You gotta let it go. 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 You gotta let it go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Awesome, brother. Sounds great, man. Chris, we were talking a little bit earlier about that guitar, and you said that I think that, and this sounds really nice. And of course, we got it hooked up to the katana, so that always helps there. But you said this one had a repair done to it, right? Actually,
Yeah. It got trash shooting a music video for.
It's
I think we were doing a song, "What We Lost in the Fire," off the second record back in 2020. It was during COVID, so everything was
kind of
shut down
crazy.
a day. Yeah, we were. My son directed the video. My son Sebastian, and we were shooting it late at night in Lodo, walking down the alley, and my strap broke, and it
Oh,
fell
is that right?
onto the concrete, bounced like a basketball, and just shredded and broke in half. And I
Oh
thought,
my gosh, man.
And there was like, it wasn't even, it was more sentimental value than the monetary side of it. I was like, oh my God, because this was a gift from the people at ESP and George Lynch, one of
nice.
my favorite guitar players and a good buddy of mine. So I was devastated. And then my buddy Ken put it back together, and I can't believe it. So it's been my main go-to.
Nice, man.
As far as when I'm playing acoustic.
And I've heard a lot of stories over the years where people are like, yeah, the neck broke on this, and I sent it in for repairs, and now it sounds even better than it originally did. Just stuff like that. Like, you never know.
It does happen. Yeah, absolutely.
And that, that creates character, right, for that guitar now. That, like, that's got its story that nobody can take away.
Right.
So awesome, man. All right.
Yeah.
No, that was a great song too, and that's another one where they can also find on the platforms, right? Okay.
Yep. And again, that's on the fifth record, Cinco de la Rock and Roll. It's a song called "Let It Go."
Nice, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. We were talking earlier. There's a lot of different flavors, and obviously you're hearing stripped down versions of what I do. And some of the songs I've written and recorded acoustically. Some have a completely full band, and there's different variations. There's a lot of different flavors. The first record was definitely leaning a little more towards the rock stuff, but I kind of crossed over to country. It was just kind of never by design. And people think, oh, he just tried to do this just to break into this. But I wrote what was coming out of me, and by the grace of God and by a lot of luck, the songs resonated with a whole completely different audience. So all of the records have had flavors of hard rock, classic rock, modern hard rock, alternative music, Americana, and country. And it gave me the ability to cross over into radio globally on both country and rock radio, which is kind of a rare situation to be in. And so, it's something that I don't take for granted. So, really grateful for that as well.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and isn't that interesting, right? That sometimes like people's journey, right? And again, you were talking about how sometimes it takes you to different places, right? And
Right.
again, maybe it's I didn't start off that way, but it led me that way. I think that's very common. That happens a lot sometimes. Musicians, right? You end up going down one road and then find yourself doing something else, right?
Right. Never by design.
Never by
You don't
design.
know how things are going to, you can make plans, but God has bigger plans.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
You
man.
know,
Yeah,
it's one of those things where the old adage of, let go and let God, because man,
Yes.
my whole life I've been pretty much like a control freak and just always thinking that it has to be a certain way or this way. And sometimes you just let things flow, man.
Nice. Yeah, Chris, I told you this earlier, but on my Facebook page, it's God Family Music, in that order.
There
man.
you go,
I
man.
believe in that.
That's
Most
God
definitely.
bless you,
So-
brother. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's jamming out another one for us,
Okay,
man.
let me
And,
think
yeah.
here. I think I'm going to go back as we talked about the country stuff. So
Yeah.
the first single off the first record was a song called Goodbye, and that one specifically really tells the story of this journey in my life, saying goodbye to the old life, and again, and not to harp on this and preach so much, but again, because it's a part of the story, is me getting sober. It was just so important. I had tried a million times. You're talking from the age of 15 till I was 45. I lost track of how many times I tried to turn my life around and couldn't get it together, no matter what was going on, the chaos in my life and losing friendships and hurting my family, hurting my friends, hurting myself, and even with all these things, they'd have threats. If you don't get sober, you're going to lose this. And at the time when you're in the storm, you don't know what's going to happen. It's not till you yourself you make up your mind and say, now's the time.
Kind of figure it
And
out. right?
and when I finally got sober and did it, this was one of the first songs that I picked up my acoustic guitar and I wrote it. And forgive the cliche title, but Goodbye was it, because saying goodbye to that lifestyle. So, and this song ended up cracking the top 3 in iHeart Country, which was amazing for a million different reasons. But being an independent artist and not on a label, you don't have any backup, you have no support. One DJ, a good buddy of mine, Sean Patrick, took a chance, and because of that, the station he was working at the time, they started playing it, and it blew up. And that summer was just amazing and opened a lot of doors. So I'm grateful for Sean for taking a chance, and the message too. It's funny where a couple of people would hear it and they were like, that is such a sad song. They're like, I know you've been happily married for X amount of years, but why would you write such a sad song? And they thought it was about a girl, like a break, because it's a breakup. It's the relationship that I had with the alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And so, but they misinterpreted the lyrics. But that's a cool thing too about lyrics and songs, is that it's whatever you feel, right? If you read something and, hey, this makes me think of this, I think sometimes that's okay. If I spell it out to you and tell you what it means, it might take away from what it felt for you. So I always say, let the listener interpret, but I kind of had to tell the backstory on it. So it was interesting to get a couple of text messages going, dude, what's up with the breakup song? What's going on, dude? And it's like, no.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, that's what I've been enjoying about, doing this podcast is, again, that's the stuff that people sometimes don't know, right?
Right.
And as we bring people in here, musicians, we can talk about the background of that music.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
awesome, man.
I'll go to the first record, which was called Rock and Rolla, the first single, Goodbye. Wrote this, recorded this, and produced it with my buddy Tim High, and then we went to Minneapolis with producers Eric Bloomquist and Ian Combs, and we tweaked it out, and the album version is really cool. There's a beautiful dobro and some B3 organ, just has a cool vibe. I think of it more of like a Southern rock Americana, but it did cross over to country, like I said. So
Nice.
Anyway, here's the stripped down version. It's called Goodbye. It's time for me to say goodbye. The love we shared was just a lie to me. Through the good times and the bad. You took a part of me I'll never get back. The hole in my heart you just tried to fill. Through all the laughter and the lies, the night I sat alone and I cried. Love and the hate fell for you. Was a time when either would do. Another slip, and this could be the end. Wish I never felt this way for you. Wish I'd never seen your face. Accountable for all that I wrong. A million sorries in a song. Don't wanna live with more regret. I wish that I could just forget. Another chapter, close the door. It's time to leave, don't want no more. Pain inside, you just couldn't kill. Wish I never felt this way for you. Wish I'd never seen your face. Accountable for all that I wrong. A million sorries in a song. I've had my fill, it's time to leave. Looking back, no time to grieve. Took a better part of me. I'll prove you wrong, just believe. Another slip, and this could be the end. I hope I never, ever fall again.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Romero right here in the studio at the Local Vibe Podcast. That was amazing, man.
Thank you,
Amazing.
bro. Appreciate it.
Amazing, brother. Wow. Yeah, I could definitely see where sometimes, people may think that that's for some other reason, right?
Right, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's a really cool song. I
Thank
like
you.
that.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah, I tell you, when I'm done here, I'm gonna go and download all those on Spotify and Apple Music. Like I said, I've been on your Facebook page, because again, that's part of my job as the podcast. Is I've been looking at all your videos and on YouTube, and you have a lot of cool stuff out there, man. I think that's what we're gonna talk about here next. But yeah, you want to play one more, or are you good?
Let's see. What could I do here?
I always tell people this is
why
a
not,
music
why not?
podcast.
Yeah. Let's
And
do
we
another
play
one.
music here.
So I wrote this one on the piano. I was into my. It's funny, I'm always listening to. I find myself as I've gotten older going back to the classics, and I'm talking the Beatles and Zeppelin and Aerosmith and Kiss and all those bands. My favorite hard rock band growing up was Van Halen, still to this day. But listening to a lot of Beatles and stuff like that. And so at home, I was sitting on my piano and I was listening to something. I said, I need a song that makes me feel like when I listen to a certain Beatles song, like Let It Be or Hey Jude or something. And I'm not trying to compare myself to that, but that feeling you get when you hear that song and you just get goosebumps and you I don't know. It just does something. But
Yep.
anyway, listening to a lot of Beatles, sitting at the piano one day, I'm doing this chord progression, and my wife was like, that kind of sounds like the Beatles. Yeah, is that one of yours, or what are you doing with that? And I was like, yeah, I've got some melody ideas. And so I got behind the piano, recorded it, and then ended up making this full blown, it's on the new record, Cinco de la Rock and Roll. It's a song called Afterglow. So we did and I played all the instruments. So I bass, drums, organ, did strings on the keys, of course, and piano and acoustic guitar and electric guitar. And the song Afterglow came from that. So anyway, I'll give you the acoustic stripped down version, but when you download it, you'll hear all the nuances and all the big orchestration that we ended up doing it. Anyway, it's like one of my wife's favorite songs. So Charlotte, this is for you, a song called Afterglow, and Happy Valentine's Day.
That's right. That's right. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah.
So this is the radio edit version, and the no piano, obviously, or no band, but here you go. So. Looking for the words, but you're never really sure. Try your best not to let it show. Living in the afterglow, I'm not bringing up the past just to prove us right or wrong. Let me in, give me a chance. I don't want to be alone. You were staring at the sky. I was trying not to cry. All the times I told you lies, let me make it right. Things I should have said, but I was lost in my own head. Now I'm living with regret. You forgave, I can't forget. Looking back won't change a thing. Live for today, so let's begin. Just remember what you said. Love will always win. You were staring at the sky. I was trying not to cry. All the times I told you lies, let me make it right. Like a thorn from a rose, take it all in. In the afterglow, love will win. Yes, it will. Love will win. Yes, it will. Looking for the words, but you're never really sure. Try your best not to let it show. Living in the afterglow, I'm not bringing up the past just to prove us right or wrong. Let me in, give me a chance. We will never be alone. You were staring at the sky. I was trying not to cry. All the times I told you lies, let me make it right. Love. Love.
Nice, man. Really nice. Heck yeah, brother.
Thank you.
That sounds really good, man. All right, very good, man. Well, awesome. And yeah, so again, that's another one where people can find kind of the full version of that song, right? On
Right, streaming on all streaming services.
yeah.
And I just got to say, man, again, grateful to be here, but man, this is more nerve wracking than you can imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know how my fellow musicians feel about when you're doing something this intimate. This is more scary and nervous for me to play, obviously being live and then not having my band to back me up.
Right. You're like, I need some bass fill here.
I think I messed up every song that I played live today. And I was like, oh, it's just like you cringe, man. Because sometimes when you got bass and drums and stuff going, you can hit a bad note and the other guys are going to be there to cover for you. And here, there's no hiding.
Yeah,
and
no, but that's the power of music, man, right there.
Yeah. It's real, it's raw, it's organic.
That's right.
And it is what it is. But anyway, this is fun still.
Well, sweet, man. Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, let's get into some of the interview questions here now, if you wouldn't mind.
Let's go.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. And so, Chris, one of the first things I always like to ask my guests as they come to the studio here is, can you tell people a little bit about, or let's just talk a little bit about your background, man? Kind of where you grew up, and how you got into music.
Yeah, absolutely. So born in Denver, raised in Brighton, Colorado. So, all my elementary, middle school, high school years and into my 40s. I mean, basically, I grew up in a very small town. Brighton was a small town. There was a handful of us guys in high school that played guitar, tried to put a band together. And some of me and my buddies, we had a garage band, and it was one of the most fun times trying to learn the instrument, trying to learn these songs. And it was in the 80s. So that MTV era was such a big influence. So, we were listening to all the Motley Crue and Rat and AC/DC and
Nice.
bands like that. And so that was a big part of our youth. And just playing in garage bands is where it started. I started out as a guitar player. I was huge into like Van Halen and Dokken and stuff like that. So I thought, I'm going to be a guitar hero. That I thought in my mind, not even close. And eventually became a singer, and then taught myself other instruments along the way throughout the years, and played in a bunch of different cover bands, original bands, and just kind of just learning. And I think that the things that helped me grow as a musician, it didn't even matter if it was cover band, tribute band, or original band, is surrounding myself with like talented musicians. And I think every band I've been in, the guys were just always top-notch players. It didn't matter, especially in our 20s and 30s. Just talented guitar players and drummers and whatnot. So that makes you a better musician when you're playing with guys. It helps you learn the instrument. So a lot of that was part of the background. What else? I got a little sidetracked. So,
I don't know. It was just kind of more about your background and how you started. Started as a guitar player.
That really it. I mean, as a kid, in high school is really where it began. Yeah. And then from there, the journey went everywhere.
Nice. Yeah. So, Chris, we were talking a little bit earlier, and like I said, as I was kind of scouting through your Facebook and your YouTube page, you've opened up for a lot of pretty big name bands as well, right? Can you tell the audience a little bit about some of the bands that, and again, just that you remember, right? But some of the bands that you opened up with.
Yeah, I mean, it started. If I can go back to the early part of the career, so in the early 90s, so 94, 95. We had this alternative hard rock kind of hybrid punk funk band called Sick, S-I-C-K. Myself, along with, at the time, it was the Greenwald brothers, Eric and Aaron, and a drummer named Chris Ortega. We did an album. We made a cassette and started playing out at all the clubs that would have original music, and immediately caught the attention of Barry Fay, who was a big-time promoter in Colorado back in the day. He's since passed, but an amazing part of the music industry, not just in Colorado, but globally. And we ended up opening. It started from there. We started getting these opening acts, and let me go back. I'm sorry. So Barry Fay. And then there was a DJ named Mary Moses at KTCL 93.3 radio. And she heard one of our songs, started playing the song. Next thing you know, we're playing Fiddler's Green with 311 and Sublime.
Wow.
And it is mind-boggling, bro. So we're doing these festivals. We did the very first Warped Tour. We did Lollapalooza 95. We went on a tour in California. So we blew up really quick. And it was a little bit overwhelming. We went through some member changes, added another drummer, Vinny Leshakov joined the band. Chris left, I think, to go back to school. We had another guitar player, Patrick Searcy. The band started to morph into something different. And so from like 98, which that was like kind of our year when we broke out. We had a song on the radio called Seize a Day. The guys at KBPI, Willie B and Greg Stone, were all over the band. And we had record labels calling us. We were showcasing New York, LA, Vegas. We played Red Rocks with Megadeth and Deftones.
Nice.
And it kept getting bigger. And, as the band was getting bigger, unfortunately, with anything and in life, you've got 5 very strong personalities. And so behind the scenes, the band was sort of slowly imploding. And it was heartbreaking, bro, because there was no one person or one incident that caused it. It just happens. It's just life. And it's come full circle. As we're older, man, we're all friends now. But back then, man, it was just like a marriage. You go through a divorce, and
Sure.
it's devastating. You put your heart and soul into something, and you're that close, as they say. And but at the time, man, like I said, we were opening for everybody from A to Z. And that band broke up. Another band formed out of that. A couple of us stayed together. We formed a band called Drug Under. As I look back now, I feel like we were kind of riding the coattails of the achievements of Sick. Obviously you built these relationships with these different promoters and different bands, and we were still getting the big shows. We were still traveling and doing big things and trying to make it happen. And a couple of times, again, we had label interest, but we just could never get that final thing to seal the deal. That band broke up. I went back to school. It took a break, started working in radio. In between all that, I'm trying to raise a family to the best of my ability. My family put up with a lot because the sacrifices that they had to do dealing with an artist, as a musician. It's a different thing to balance. So obviously everything suffers. The band suffers, the family suffers, your work suffers, whatever it is you're doing. It's trying to maintain all of that. So it became overwhelming, and I had to step back for a little bit and kind of reassess what was important and how was I going to still do what I think I'm meant to do and with the gifts that God has given me, but also find that balance. And so when I took a break and came back, I felt like I had a second chance in the music industry and reinvented myself as a solo artist and started working on the songs that you're hearing now. And again, even in the last 7, 8, 9 years, we've done some incredible stuff. We've opened up for Joan Jett, Tesla, Daughtry, the Winery Dogs, Lynch Mob, King's X, Warren, Brett Michaels, Rat, Winger, Bush, Sublime again. That came full circle. That was kind of cool because we'd played with them in the 90s. All these just different great bands. Five Finger Death Punch, Avenged Sevenfold, the Deftones again. That came full circle. I played with them in 98, got to play with them again in 2016. So I mean, it was just it's been really surreal at times. And it's funny again how those relationships come back around, the music comes back around, you get the chance to do it all over again and do it differently now with a sober mind and a sober heart. And I have a greater appreciation because in the past, man, a lot of it was foggy. A lot of it was, I wasn't present, mentally. I was struggling with a lot of different things in my life. So I look back and when you see it on paper, you're like, oh my gosh, Chris, you did some really cool things. The saddest part is I don't remember a lot of it. And that's hard to deal with. But now, man, I don't take anything for granted. I don't take the relationships with my friends or my family or my fellow musicians. And the cool thing is when I started getting the second chance in the music industry, I started bringing back some of the musicians that I worked with back then to be a part of this. Even though it's Romero and it's a solo thing, I brought back the guys from Drug Under and Sick in different variations. And then I would reach out to other musicians that I had never played with that I always admired. And I knew, they were maybe in a cover band or they were in a tribute band or they were in a band that maybe didn't get the opportunity to play the Paramount or Fiddler's Green or any of these big things or some of these arena shows that we did. And so I would bring them on board. And so basically it's like, hey, go learn my record. We get together, we rehearse, and giving them another chance at it too, to say, hey, it's a different band. It's not Sick, it's not Drug Under, but it's a chance for you to play in front of an audience that you may not, because when those bands ended, it kind of ended for a lot of those guys. Didn't get the chance to do that. Some have gone on to do great things in their own lives, and it doesn't always have to apply to being something musically. But I want to be able to share the joy that I'm having now because I'm in a different place. I know I'm a different person, and so to be able to give back, and that's a big part of what I've been doing now. And that's transitioned to what I do now. I spent some time in Nashville working as an intern at a recording studio, and I was writing and producing for up and coming artists, amateur artists, people from all over the country, from Canada, helping people write songs and learn their craft, working as a sessions player. And now I work as a music teacher in Greeley, my hometown. I'm a substitute teacher, and that's one of the greatest joys is giving back to these young kids. And I love to share the story. Some kids kind of knew my background, some didn't, unless the teacher prefaced it by what I did or who I am, so to speak. And playing in my church band is very just as important as what I'm doing with you today. It's all kind of just sharing those gifts. And so it's been an interesting journey, and I feel like that's just it. I look back and I was like, oh, we almost got signed, or why didn't we get signed? You question everything. What would you have done different? But it doesn't matter because it was already destined to be what it was going to be. So what I do now, live in the moment, make the most of whatever opportunities come your way. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I've didn't get the record deal, but you know what? I've written songs for TV and film, and I'm still playing. I'm still opening for bands. We got this show we were talking about earlier. I'm opening up for Foreigner in a couple of weeks, and that blows my mind because as a kid listening to those records,
Right.
it's just the fanboy in me will exist forever. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. It just means how much music means to you and how important and how it makes you feel. So again, I just there's so many things happening. It's it can be overwhelming, and sometimes you get that burnout factor, but always get a chance to kind of recharge and go at it. And like I said, live in the moment, make the best of each opportunity, and also, like I said, share, pay it forward. I've been working with a couple of artists in Greeley. Kiana Vasquez, this incredible, talented singer-songwriter. I did her latest single at my studio and produced her, and we shot a video for her song. And I'm working with Eli Ray and Nando Caballero, these two brothers that are so talented, bro. Just incredible country artists. I think big things are going to happen for them, and not because I'm working with them. I just saw what they had, and I was like, I'll help you any way I can.
Their talent, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been able to get them on the radio. I brought them into my studio and worked with them, and they've done some shows with me, acoustic shows, and we've done some stuff together and backed each other up in different variations. But if you get a chance, check out Eli Ray and his brother Nando. Just cool guys, man. Very, very talented. So I love sharing that, and that's just it. All the mistakes that I made along the years, whether it be in my personal life or the business life, that's always a learning thing, right?
Yeah.
So I can share that with these guys openly and say, hey, bro, I've been down that road. Let's go this way.
Yeah. Let me tell you from experience.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And and again, it ain't about preaching, because sometimes you got to fall down and learn on your own. But man, if you can save somebody the heartache or the heartbreak, or save them from something that, that feels good.
Well, I'll tell you, an experience is valuable, right? I mean, you can't, you can't deny that, especially somebody who's been there, done that, or had some sort of relative experience in that field.
Right.
You can share your wisdom and say, hey guys, here's what happened to me, right? Or here's how I experienced it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you can share that knowledge, right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, very cool. Chris, so I don't forget, you're talking about you're going to be opening up for Foreigner. When is that? What's the date on that one?
One is Saturday the 28th at the UCCC Theater. I believe it's in Greeley, Colorado.
Okay.
Downtown Greeley. Yeah. It's a handful of tickets still available. Show starts at 7:30. We're both playing acoustically, so it's kind of going to have that MTV Unplugged vibes. So
nice.
Yeah, it's and I think I told you earlier, excuse me, there's always different variations of what I do musically. Sometimes I'm solo, sometimes it's a duo, sometimes it's a trio, sometimes there's 4 of us, sometimes there's 6 of us. The band can kind of adapt to the show. For this particular show, unfortunately, my drummer Rich and Tony were not able to do the gig So, but we still, since it's acoustic, we're going to be able to pull it off, and it's going to be myself with John DeWitt on keyboards, and Patrick Searcy on guitar, and Aaron Greenwald on bass. And we're going to just do, a set of all, try to represent the records as much as possible.
Gotcha.
It's a short set, so
Right.
we're going to try to cram in as much as we can. But I'm looking forward to just, playing with these guys. They just got, Foreigner just got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, this is legendary guys and out there representing the legacy of Foreigner. So
Nice.
Grateful for that, man. Just, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. So that's in a couple of weeks. And then what else do you have coming up after that? Do you have any other side gigs? Or anything else going on?
So next Friday, which is February the 20th, so it's actually a week before the Foreigner gig, we're going to be on 9 News on a TV show called Colorado and Company. We're going to perform acoustically on there. So that we're looking forward to that. Got a gig coming up at the Federal Theater in March with my buddy Elon. He's got a new video, a new single coming out. I'm going to be doing a solo gig for that. And then some stuff that we're trying to negotiate to work out for the summer. Every summer, the past few years has been incredible. Like, we mentioned earlier, a big part of the Greeley Stampede, my buddies, Corey and Sean Patrick and oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the names. Trent over at Greeley Hatworks. These guys have gone to bat for me more than once in the last decade. And every year we play the Stampede. So we did our Speedwagon, Three Doors Down, Warrant. Last year we played with Lit. Cheap Trick has probably been one of my favorites.
Oh, cool.
An arena show with another Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band. It's I pinch myself, bro. It's beyond luck and blessings. It's everything. Someone might say, well, you put in the work, you put in the hours, you put in the time, but it just I have to thank God, man, because I still can't believe I'm still doing this at this age. And at the level that we're doing it, it's never became a household name, but still, when you do what you love, I don't think any of that matters.
Sure,
you have to love what you're doing at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like, again, you're doing a lot. And Chris, that's another question that I always ask my guests as they come in. And as you can tell, me creating this podcast is a way of me giving back to the music community that we have here, right? But I always ask, like, hey, what kind of things are you doing to support music locally, right, in the local areas? And you talked a lot about that.
Yeah,
I think that's important, to support each other.
Absolutely. It was real cutthroat coming up in the 90s and 2000s. It was hard to give. I don't know. It was hard for me. I don't know, to find yourself. You could be rooting for someone, but secretly you're like, I want it to happen to me first. And it sounds selfish, but I guess when you're young and immature and just you don't know, right? I know that when we were coming up and the band was blowing up and we had label interest, there was a band that I loved musically, and they ended up getting signed, a band called Love 45, and Paul Trinidad ended up becoming a member of Romero for quite a while until he retired recently. But that was a band that just should have been huge, man. Right. And ironically, their first record was produced by Three Doors Down. Yeah, just talented band. There were some great bands in the 90s and the 2000s. Hippie Werewolves, Rocket Ajax. I'm forgetting Brethren Fast. There was all these Blister. My buddy Chris Dillinger, who runs Wild Goose, another guy who's just been doing it forever and very supportive of the scene. There's just guys like that are still in my life that I'm grateful for, that still support any endeavor that I'm a part of, whether it's a cover band, a tribute band, or doing original music. I feel lucky to be able to still have a friendship more than anything, and anything on top of that is like a bonus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm still planning to get. The plan was we were going to try to get Chris and Loda, into the studio. Yeah,
great band.
Right. Yeah, and we do a lot of work for Chris too. In the summertime, our band plays out in the patio for bike nights. Like every awesome. Thursday, and
I love his venue, man. He puts on great shows. I've done.
And it's such a nice venue, right?
Isn't it,
man? The stage and the green room and everything. It's crazy.
I think because Chris, being a musician himself, knows what it's like coming up, and we go back 30 years. Playing on the scene and Battle of the Bands and things like that. But man, him and
Lola
are really good people, man.
Yeah. And it's so nice to have that venue like right here, right? Especially for me, it's so close by. And
Right.
you know, it's like, oh yeah, let's
We
go.
just played there in November with Lynch Mob. Oh
Okay.
my God. And it was a sold out show.
Nice.
The crowd was incredible. Chris treated all of us like we were rock stars, and it just, oh man, I love playing
That's cool.
there. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, another thing I wanted to do, I queued up a couple of videos of yours, and then there's just some short clips. Maybe
Sure.
we can kind of talk through a few of those videos, and you can kind of tell us a little bit about what those are.
Sure.
So, Michael, let's play that first one. There's that LTD, Chris. I see it.
Yeah.
Again.
So this one is a cover, like an Americana kind of dirt road country version of Ronnie James Dio's Rainbow in the Dark.
Nice.
So I knew when I was doing the first record, I was like, I need to do a cover, but I don't want to make it generic where it's like, it sounds just like the other guy. So we went a completely different direction with this song.
Yeah.
Tim High played the dobro. We recorded this one in my basement, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. And we shot the video. My buddy Nash Mastrom directed this one, and we shot it in an abandoned warehouse, farmhouse over in just outside of Brighton.
Wow.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah. So it was, like I said, when you do a cover, it's such a fine line, right? Because you want to honor the original, but you want to make it your own, and you don't want to copy it exactly like the record.
Exactly the same, right? You want to add your little flavor to it.
Add your
right?
flavor to it.
Yeah, that's important. No, and that was another question is like, you know, what kind of advice can you give other musicians, especially cover bands, right? As you are covering songs. Well, originally that song was written as an original for them, right?
Right.
And now we're covering it. What kind of advice could you give to people who are covering those songs, you know?
Man, I'll tell you, this will sound weird. So for me, as an original artist, I wanted to make that song my own, but enough that you recognized and honored Dio, because it's just a great song. Him and Vivian Campbell wrote that. The lyrics are killer, and obviously we did a country version. But when I played or when I did play in a cover band, my goal was to emulate the record as close as we could. Have a little fun with it, maybe stretch out the guitar solos or make it a little longer or something, get the crowd involved to sing or something. So my goal to do that would hopefully, I think in my mind, I'm thinking this is going to make me a better musician if I can copy what they're doing on the record. But I think because all of us are unique in our own way when it comes to being a musician, whether you're a guitar player, a drummer, a keyboard player, your own style is going to come through. You might be able to play something note for note, right? But it's never going to sound like the guy who wrote it.
Sure.
Because you're the way you play, the way you hold the guitar, the way you hold a pick, the attack or whatever on
Gonna
the
be
strings.
different, right?
Something's going to be different even if you're playing it note for note. So I think is just like have fun, right?
Right. Yeah.
And in cover bands, I think that's what it was for me, is like, let's sound as close as we can, but have some fun with it too.
And if you change it up, then so be it, right? It may come out a little
yeah.
bit. Yeah, like that one. That's a perfect example. And it
Yeah.
sounds great. You know,
Yeah,
it sounds great.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah. But
No, that's some great advice.
We're getting a lot of comments saying that your voice is captivating and very great, very nice voice.
oh, thank you.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. All right, Michael, let's go to that second one. I queued up a couple of them, and we can kind of talk through this one as well. And so let's.
Oh, this one makes me cry. So we shot this in Nashville. My wife directed the video. Beautiful song for a lot of different reasons. So my mom, who was my biggest fan, she passed away in 2020, and this song kind of came from that heartbreak and that love, and because my mom and I were a lot alike in the ways that we were hot-headed, stubborn, and we clashed sometimes. And you know, I don't want to make it sound like it was awful things, but family fights. In family, you
Sure.
go through different seasons. You have different things that you go through in life. But my mom, I loved her dearly. She loved me. She loved her family. And the song to me was more like this. I didn't get to say enough things to her. I didn't get to thank her enough. I didn't get to say I was sorry for, because I was a wild kid, and sometimes I was a wild adult, you know, when I was in my drinking days.
Sure.
And her patience was amazing, that she put up with a lot of stuff. As a parent, you never want to see your kids struggle, and I can't imagine what she went through, but her patience and love got her through a lot of storms within her own life, and then dealing with me and the things that I put the family through.
Yeah.
But when she passed, it was so sudden and unexpected. But one day, that song, I wrote it in about 5 minutes,
Is that
picked up
right?
my guitar, and it was almost wrote itself. And it was kind of like this, I call it like a love letter to her and to my brother, and kind of the feelings that I was feeling at that moment when she passed. And that hit the top 3 on iHeart Country
Nice.
as well. So it was a lot of fun to play on that. Ben Walagoski played pedal steel on that, incredible musician and producer from Colorado.
Wow.
And again, we shot that in Nashville. Cool thing is, I got to play that on the Today Show, on the NBC Today Show in Nashville. And it's called Today in Nashville is the show. And we performed, and I got to hire some of the best musicians in Nashville to learn that song. And we played it live on TV.
Nice.
When I was living out there. That was amazing, bro. We had some of the top-notch players. I had Troy Lucetta on drums from Tesla. God, my guitar player, Dennis, I blanking on his last name, forgive me. He was on The Voice. Pedal steel player from Luke Bryan's band, and just all these top-notch players. The funny thing was, when I had hired him, I said, hey, do you want me to rent out a studio and we'll rehearse the song before we do the TV show? Because I wanted to make sure I'd never played with them. They're like, no, we'll be good. We'll just see you the day of the taping. And I got nervous.
Like, what?
Yeah, I told my wife, I was like, babe, they don't want to rehearse. And now I know why, because they just
nailed it.
They nailed it.
Nice.
Like the record. Like when you watch us on TV, it sounds exactly like the record, and we never rehearsed it. We did a sound check. We did it in sound check, and I was like, whoa.
You're like, this is
They
it.
would just to make sure we were in the right key. They're like, is that the key?
Yeah.
Because I use a capo. And we played it, and then we played it live on TV, and I was like, okay, now I know why you guys are the Nashville musicians.
Professionals.
Yeah, they're the real deal.
Heck yeah. All right.
So-
And then there's another one up there, Michael, as well. I think there's 4 of them that I've queued up. And let's see this one here. And this is a little bit more heavier, right? More.
Yeah, this is a song called The Dark. This was on the first record. This was a lot of fun. We did this one in Minneapolis.
Okay.
So on the record, my buddy, my producer, my co-producer, Ian Combs, he played the bass and rhythm guitar. I did the lead guitar and rhythm guitar. And the other producer played drums, Eric Bloomquist. And this was like a really cool, fun song. I always say it's like a cross between Motley Crue with John Corabi era and a little bit of Blackstone Cherry.
Nice.
Something with a groove, something heavy.
I tell you, man, every time I go, I usually try to do the Sturgis rally in August. And every time I go up to Sturgis, I put the Blackstone Cherry album on it, like several of their albums.
Oh, we've opened up for those guys. I played with them in Sturgis when I was in Drug Under. The first time, it was like 2007. And then ever since then, Romero has opened up for them a handful of times over the last 5 years.
Sweet.
Good guys.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Chris
awesome
and those
music.
guys, just Ben. I love those guys. John, drummer's a good buddy. So we got to become friends.
Nice. All right.
Blackstone Cherry's incredible. Yeah. So
that
song is called The Dark. Just a big, heavy drums.
song.
Yeah.
Just
kind of punchy.
Are you like in a drop D or drop?
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drop D, half step down. I learned that from Alice in Chains and Van Halen.
So drop D and half step down?
Yeah.
Oh, so your top string is drop your low E is drop D and everything else is half.
Well, I tune half step on everything.
On everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
But technically it would be drop D.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you. To give you that heavier sound, right? That heavy.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. All right, Michael. And then there's another one there. Let's see. I think this might be the last one. There you go.
Yeah, King of Nothing. This got some radio airplay in a handful of radio stations. This was on the Broken Sun record as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wrote that on an acoustic and made a demo and sent it to the guys in Minneapolis at River Rock. And I said, let's take this here's the skeleton of the song, here's the melody, here's the lyrics, here's the progression, and we cranked it up, man, and just layered it with guitars and drums and just had a lot of fun.
Nice. Heck
Yeah,
man.
had a lot of fun on that one.
All right, that's awesome, man. And then, let's look at your Facebook page also, because I want to mention, and I'll put links in the description here to all these songs, so that way people can go in there and download them. That's kind of the whole thing here, is go out there, support Chris and his music as well, and you can find him on Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff. But this, Chris, here, this is your Facebook page, right? This is your Facebook page, which is Romero. So it's Facebook at Romero.
Yep, that's the band page. And then I have my personal page, which I share probably kind of the same content. Just so you know, when you do go to Spotify, there's going to be a kind of some confusion because so the first 2 records are under Romero. But the problem with that is when we released those records, there was about 100 different Romeros on Apple Music.
Is that right?
Like a lot of hip hop guys and different things that were not me.
I saw some Tejano artists in there too when I was looking them up.
Isn't that weird, right? So the same name, and so our albums got mixed up on their playlist. So for the 3rd record, I decided I'm going to have from here on out just use my full name. So it's Christopher Charles Romero, and then there's Romero. So
gotcha.
Rock and Rolla and the River Rock sessions, those first 2 records are under Romero, but everything since then, Broken Sun, the Nashville sessions, Cinco de Rock and Rolla, and then a bunch of singles that I've put out, a handful of covers and a couple of original songs. Those are all under Christopher Charles Romero. So you'll figure that. And you can, there's probably links on my website, which is ChristopherCharlesRomero.net. But yeah, you go to Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Amazon Music, wherever they're streaming, iHeartRadio, it's everywhere.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have an Instagram as well, and I think we get that one queued up there as well. There's your Instagram, and this is where, and you keep up with the social medias pretty frequently, or
too much.
Okay.
I think my wife and kids are be like, take a break.
Yeah.
Take a break, pops. Get off of that.
I hear you.
I'm glued to my phone, man.
Isn't that crazy, right?
It's a different thing, right? It becomes exhausting because it really is a necessary evil. I swear to you, every day I always tell my wife, okay, that's it. I'm taking a break. I'm not going to post. And then I'm like, oh, I have a show coming up. If I don't talk about this show or the appearance on your show or
that's how you get it
whatever,
out, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, so it's weird. I'm sure I could not even imagine. Can you imagine the guys from Van Halen or the Eagles or Aerosmith having to go on social media every single day to promote?
Yeah. Back then it was all paper, right? And
man, everything
flyers, and
I think that's what there's pros and cons to being an independent artist. There's pros and cons to the way music is developed and where we're at with social media. The part of I think what I miss is that mystique. There's no mystique. You want to talk to Nikki Sixx, just DM him, and he might talk to you back, and it takes away that mystique, right? But social media can, if you can find a way to use it in a positive way, it's obviously a great tool, and we need it because we need it to promote shows and to promote our concerts and our movies and our singles and whatever it is you're promoting. And
I hear you,
but it's hard to keep up. Bro.
It is, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then also I noticed you were also on K4CO Radio, right? You were on there.
Oh yeah. Sarah and Josh and those.
Yeah,
those
they said
guys,
to tell you hi because I was just there this past
guys.
week.
They're like yourself, giving an outlet for local artists in Colorado. The playlist is amazing.
Yeah.
And
so I put together a sponsorship video that I have. But let's go to K4CO Radio real quick, Michael. And I'd like to give a shout out to Josh and Sarah. I had a chance to go into their studio this past week on Monday. And actually, it was another beautiful day, talking about beautiful days here in Colorado. But yeah, here's K4CO Radio, and if you guys are not checking these guys out, go check them out. They're streamed live on their website, and they also have a radio station. And a lot of something Josh was telling me is a lot of their music too is a lot of the Colorado solo artists that they play on there, and then again a mix of my gosh, I think it goes like from 40s to 90s to rock to all kinds of genres that they're playing out there. So here it is, K4CORadio.com. and you can listen live straight on that website as well. So I want to send a shout out to those guys, and thank you very much for everything that you guys are doing at K4CO Radio for the music community as well, and giving back here, just like we are here at the local vibe. And then, Chris, while I'm on it, I also want to give a shout out to one of my main sponsors. And this gentleman's website is called www.limo.limo. And it's Event, Airport, and Transportation LLC. Michael, let's play that video. Yeah, so check this out, Chris. This is Event and Airport Transportation LLC, and www.limo.limo. And my buddy Ernesto there, he's got some very beautiful vehicles. He's got some SUVs. He's got an Audi, a really nice Audi. I got to check that thing out last weekend. And some vans. And when I do a lot of these bands also, he'll go and pick them up for me, and he'll bring them over to the studio, which is really cool, man. Yeah.
Very cool.
So I definitely want to send a huge shout out to Ernesto. He does a fantastic job. And it's Event and Airport Transportation LLC, 720-699-1575. So shout out to Ernesto. Thank you, Ernesto, for everything you do. And he's a big supporter and follower of the Local Vibe podcast as well. So, and then also, I also want to talk about Flashjam, and this is another really good buddy of mine that I've been working with here for quite some time, and he's doing a lot for the community as well. And his name is Jim Lee, and you can also visit his website. Let's put that up there, Michael, on the screen. There you go. And this is flashjam.com, www.flashjam.com. And, you know, Chris, what this is, basically, it's a place where if people want to go and play some music, let's say they want to play a song, and man, I really want to play lead on that, you know, that part, or I want to do the lead singing, or I want to play bass. Well, he's created a venue here where, and there's multiple venues around town, people can go sign up, and they'll sign up for a lead part or vocal part on any specific song, mainly covers, right?
Yeah.
And, but the most powerful thing here is that the community and the networking with people, like they can meet all kinds of artists. There's been some bands that have come out of here that have been formed and put together, like, you know, real bands. And then also there's a band that just got signed by a label that came out of Flashjam. Wow. So yeah, these guys are doing an amazing job. So huge shout out to Jim Lee and everything that he's doing for the community, for the music as well. You can go find it and, you know, get up there, go check it out. It's for all levels of musicians, right? So from entry level to experience, you get up there, jam out. We just did one on Thursday and had such a great time, man. And that was local, over at the Angry Clover here down Smoky Hill and Chambers at a venue there. And so we had so much fun there, man. But yeah, definitely appreciate appreciate all the sponsors for supporting the local vibe. And, you know, as this channel continues to grow, you know, I'm gonna pick up some more sponsors as well, Chris. So if you think of anybody that you want to send this way, man, I would love to bring them into the studio. We can jam out. You know, as you can see, I got plenty of gear here for everybody, right?
I love it. I'm jealous, bro. This is like, it's cooler than a man cave.
Nice.
It's amazing.
That's right. Yeah, this is the man cave down here, but it's a studio, and you know, I wanted to create a plug and play situation, right? So again,
right,
people just bring their instrument, we plug it in, boom, I got it streamed, we get it on the interface, and yeah, we'll put it up on YouTube and go live, you know, that kind of cool stuff, you know. So now, man, well, I appreciate you coming into the studio, man, and spending some time
for having
here.
me, man.
Yeah,
this is really fun, bro.
It's been really great. Yeah. Anything else that you want to talk about, or any shout outs that you would like to give to anybody that maybe is listening out there?
Just a shout out to my bandmates who I'm grateful for, and all the musicians that I played with over the last 30 years, man, for being a part of this journey. You know, what is the saying? Sometimes it's not the destination, it's the journey. And you never know where you're going to end up. And like I said, the fact that I still have songs getting played on the radio, and I'm still opening up for my favorite bands. And you know, I'm still working in the film industry, and I've got some things in the works. Hopefully that will come to fruition here in the summer. I'm grateful. And to my family, my gosh, my wife and my kids and my grandkids are my world. They inspire me to keep to keep working as hard as I can, and do what I do.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we
my
definitely need the
church-
support of our family, right?
Our church and community, the Greeley just welcomed us with open arms, and our Mosaic Church in Greeley is just incredible. Playing with the worship team there, our leader Benji's an incredible singer and keyboard player, and so that's made me a better musician playing with
Nice.
these guys and all the people that sing in church and just and what they do for the community as well. So yeah, man, I feel like I'm in a good place in life. You know, like there's always highs and lows, and you fall down, you get back up, and you say your prayers and just try to pay it forward.
Yeah.
And just be good, man.
Right. Yeah. Be good to people, be good to one another,
yeah.
you know? Yeah. And that's the thing for me, is, I was talking to my wife and I was like, honey, I'm going to put this podcast together. And she's like, wow, that's amazing that you're going to do that. You're going to invite all these people here. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Cause I'm a musician. I love music. I love supporting local music, And when I moved here, I was telling Josh that at K4CO Radio, I was like, the first thing I started doing was I was looking for the music scene. Like, where's it at? You know? And finally, when I found it, I was like, "Oh, okay. There's a lot of talent here, man."
Absolutely.
And Chris, you're one of them. I got to give it up to you, man, for sure. One of the
Thank you, man.
talented guy here, man.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, man, I appreciate it. A quick question, real quick, as I was kind of watching you play, I was noticing that C add 9. Is that one of your chords that you play a lot of instead of like a C, just a regular C?
Yeah,
the C add 9.
Yeah, that one right there.
Nice.
Or that version.
Or that version, right?
Or that version.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I find myself sometimes playing that a lot. It's probably one of my favorites as well, right? 'Cause it's easy to transition.
I learned it. I think from what's the band Extreme? Remember on the
More Than Words? Uh-huh.
Nuno Betancourt, man. That's the first time I ever played that.
Nice. Awesome, man. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Chris. And thank you very much for coming out. And hopefully we can get some other people that, that you send my way as well.
Absolutely.
I'll give you some cards before you leave and send them my way. I'd love to get them in the studio. And I want to continue to grow this podcast and evolve it as well, right? So that's
I think what you're doing here is amazing.
My plan.
And pairing up with the guys at K4CO too, that's very cool.
Right. Yeah.
Just that, again, it's about the community, right?
Yes.
We're not competing with each other. We're helping the scene, and we're helping the scene grow. So.
That's right. Yeah, so I got a couple of dates up here on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, before we kind of wrap up the show here. So Thursday, February 19th, I have a solo artist coming in by the name of Tyler James Drake, and he'll be here next Thursday. He's going to be playing some of his songs as well that he has, and he'll be here in the studio having a good time. On the 20th, I'm going to be taking a little break, and I'm actually be playing at Shifters. My band's going to be playing at Shifters, and this is in Inglewood, Colorado. It's a newly renovated place. They renovated it. It used to be Wheels, and now it's called Shifters. So Iron Philly's going to be playing there at 7 o'clock p.m. And then Thursday, February 26th, I'll have another band called Reflood. I think they do like punk rock. It's a punk rock style band, fairly young musicians, and they'll be here in the studio, and they're going to be performing as well, kind of full band, right? So again, man, I'm going to continue to be bringing people in, local musicians, local talent that's up and down the Front Range. So Chris, I got to ask you, since you came in, what is your thoughts about the podcast, and how did you feel? And again, unscripted, right? Just live, straight from the heart. Man.
I get more nervous for things like this. Like I'm still nervous. I'm sweating right now. I butchered a couple of my songs, and I was just like, well, it's already out there. But again, you made me feel like we've known each other forever. That was like the first thing.
Nice.
So I felt like I was coming to visit one of my cousins or something, and he was showing me his new setup, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hang with my primo,
right? Yeah.
And it's like, this is you made me feel very welcome. It felt like family, and got to meet your son-in-law, and I was like, this is a family vibe. And it felt like there was no pressure. I think all the pressure I put on myself because I overthink everything.
Sure.
And I'm extremely nervous, and I don't know what song I'm going to do until like I do it. And then that's probably when I mess up. I'm like, oh, what song am I doing? But
that's real music, man.
The truth is, I felt very comfortable. It was very warm and welcoming.
Very good.
And the setup is top notch, bro. I've been in every kind of studio you can imagine a million times, and this looks as good as any, bro, if not better. And it just feels very inviting. So there's
it, man. Yeah,
great positive vibe for sure.
Yeah, plenty of instruments around here. We got all the hookups and plug and play situation, man. So I'm looking forward to continue bringing musicians in here. So, all right, awesome. And then also, before I forget, I also want to give it up to Michael for running production. Thank you, Michael, for doing that. He's doing a killer job. Yeah, man. And he's getting to learn and get to talk to all these other musicians that we're bringing in and, bringing into the studio. So, all right, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I will see you guys next Thursday. And like I said, thank you very much for supporting this channel, for supporting local music. And Chris, let's wave to everybody.
Thank you.
And say bye.
Where's your camera?
Yeah, it's over here.
I've been looking that way, and I know it's like, okay.
All right, we'll see you guys. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your weekend.
God bless.